Welcome back to Missing Miles in National Parks. I'm Paul, and today we're diving into 5 chilling disappearances since 2020, cases that defy logic and haunt search teams. These aren't ordinary lost hiker stories. Each case shares bizarre patterns: search dogs refusing to track, sudden weather shifts, and personal items left in impossible places. There's always something strange: water nearby, a lone boot, or a boulder out of place. These aren't coincidences. They're a pattern, a terrifying calling card. If you crave the strange and mysterious, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Our final and most mind-blowing case takes us to Isle Royale National Park, a remote archipelago of rugged, untamed wilderness. It's a place that promises adventure but keeps its secrets. In the bright sun of June 2021, it seemed like the perfect escape. 20-year-old Eric Ramirez, an avid hiker, was there with friends, trekking near the serene Emerald Lake. The group was in high spirits, unaware their lives were about to be fractured by an impossible event. Eric, spotting a pair of loons on the water, paused to capture the moment. "Keep going," he called out. "I'll be right behind you." He gave his friend a familiar wink, a casual gesture that would become a haunting final memory. His friends were barely 50 feet ahead when they turned back. The trail was empty. In the span of 30 seconds, not enough time to get lost, not enough time to run. Eric Ramirez had simply vanished. Their calls of his name echoed, unanswered. Confusion twisted into raw panic. Retracing the short distance, they found the first piece of a chilling puzzle: his hiking boot, sitting perfectly upright on the trail, as if placed there by an invisible hand. Beside it lay his phone. The screen was shattered, yet it was still on, frozen on the last photograph he took: the 2 loons on the water. A ghost image of the final peaceful moment before the inexplicable occurred. The official search brought in elite K9 units, but the dogs, instead of finding a trail, reacted with bizarre confusion. They circled the spot where Eric's boot was found, whining and agitated, before simply lying down, refusing to search. It was as if his scent didn't fade. It just stopped, hitting an invisible wall. Then the clear sky suddenly turned violent. A freak storm materialized out of nowhere, defying forecasts and unleashing a downpour that suspended the search. Afterwards, another clue was found: Eric's fishing knife, 200 feet downhill, its blade open. But the dense undergrowth around it was pristine. No footprints, no broken branches. Investigators confirmed it. The only prints on the trail belonged to Eric, his friends, and the search party. No struggle, no animal, no stranger. Just an impossible timeline and clues that defy all logic. Eric Ramirez was swallowed by the wilderness, leaving behind a chilling silence and a mystery that remains utterly unsolved. September 2022. In the vast, untamed wilderness of Yellowstone, autumn was painting the landscape. But this tranquility was about to be broken by one of the most baffling disappearances in the park's history. Ranger Lucas Hayes was a seasoned pro with 15 years under his belt. He knew the backcountry intimately, respected by all for his calm expertise. His patrols were routine, his radio check-ins always on time. He was the last person anyone would expect to just vanish. He was on a standard patrol near the formidable Thunder River when a severe weather warning was issued. His 3 p.m. check-in was missed, then 3:30. By 4 p.m. a search was underway, but the team was unprepared for what they would find. The scene was one of geological impossibility. The entire course of Thunder River had been violently rerouted, carving a new deep pool where a forest had stood just hours before. Hydrologists later confirmed the obvious: such a change would require a cataclysmic multi-day event. It couldn't happen in the 30-minute window that Lucas was missing. It was physically impossible. The clues only deepened the enigma. Lucas's shotgun was found, not discarded in a panic, but carefully propped against a boulder, completely untouched. Why would a veteran ranger abandon his weapon? Then came the K9 unit. The search dogs tracked his scent directly to the edge of this strange new pool of water. They eagerly jumped in, but immediately yelped and scrambled out, visibly terrified. They refused to go back, whining and cowering, a reaction their handlers had never witnessed. Something in that water had horrified them. There was no sign of a struggle, no blood, no torn clothing. Divers searched the pool and found nothing. Lucas Hayes had vanished from the face of the earth. He left behind a river that shouldn't exist, a shotgun that shouldn't have been abandoned, and terrified dogs who sensed a danger humans couldn't perceive. The case remains a chilling testament to the unknown, a story where the very laws of physics seem to have been suspended for one man in one moment, leaving only an impossible echoing silence. The Grand Teton National Park, a breathtaking landscape of granite spires that scrape the sky, a place of profound beauty and unforgiving wilderness. It was here, in the crisp air of May 2023, that one of the most baffling disappearances in climbing history would unfold. Ava Collins was more than just an expert free solo climber. She was an artist, and the sheer rock faces were her canvas. Known for her fluid, almost dance-like movements, she climbed without ropes, relying solely on her strength, skill, and an intimate understanding of the stone. On this particular day, she was ascending the formidable Big Park Cliffs, a familiar challenge she had conquered before. Her partner, an experienced climber himself, watched from below, tracking her progress. The climb was going perfectly. Ava moved with her signature confidence, a small, determined figure against the immense vertical wall. Then something unusual happened. Halfway up the ascent, she paused. It wasn't a rest, it was a complete stop. Her partner watched, puzzled, as she seemed to study the rock intently. He then heard a faint, sharp sound echo down the cliff, a distinct metallic click. It was the sound of a carabiner gate snapping shut. For a free soloist, it was an inexplicable sound. Before he could even process the anomaly, she was gone. One moment she was there, a fixture on the rock, and the next there was only empty granite. She hadn't fallen, she had simply vanished in full view. The search that followed was massive, but it only deepened the mystery. At the base of the cliff, investigators found her chalk bag bizarrely zipped shut. Far above, where she was last seen, rescuers found the source of the click. A single carabiner clipped securely into a hairline crack in the rock. It was a piece of gear placed with purpose, leading to nowhere. Search and rescue dogs were brought in. They eagerly followed the trail of her chalked handholds up the initial 40 feet of the cliff face. But there, the trail ended abruptly. The dogs became agitated, whining and refusing to go further, as if hitting an invisible wall. Her chalk marks, clear and defined, just stopped, as if she had been lifted straight off the rock and into the sky. The weather was calm, there was no wind, and an exhaustive search of the area revealed no sign of a fall, no disturbed earth, nothing. Ava Collins disappeared without a trace, leaving behind a single cryptic clue on a mountain that refuses to tell its secrets.
August 2024, Acadia, newlyweds. Chris and Lena Harper picnic at Lover's Cove. Chris walks to the water's edge for beach glass. Lena hears a sudden shout, then silence. She finds the tide has retreated 10 feet, exposing sharp rocks. Chris's boot is wedged in seaweed, his wedding ring placed on a boulder. Sir dogs follow his scent to the cliff's edge, then freeze, refusing to go further. Tidal records show nothing unusual. No reason for the water to vanish. No footprints, no sign of Chris. The ocean gives no answers. Another impossible disappearance.
March 2025, Rocky Mountain National Park. Ultra runner Marcus Liu vanishes on Widow's Peak Trail. Workers find his running shoe snagged mid-stride on a newly erected wire fence. No breaks, no gaps. His keys and wallet are nearby, cards fanned out in a perfect arc. Only Marcus's footprints lead to the fence. None led away. SAR dogs track his scent 50 feet uphill, then stop and stare silently into the sky. The fence is secure, the timeline impossible. Marcus had no enemies, no troubles. He simply ran into thin air. 5 people, 5 parks, 5 impossible vanishings. Search dogs baffled, weather turning wild, objects left in eerie patterns. These cases defy explanation. What force is at work in these wild places? Are these isolated events or part of a larger, terrifying pattern? The wilderness keeps its secrets. Which case chills you most? Any theories? Share your thoughts below. I read every comment. Like, subscribe, and join us next Friday for another Vanished in the Vortex mystery.